This is pulled over property line and took a picture.
Yeah, they're way up.
In the winter. In the winter.
There we
What's the date of
go.
that?
There we go.
Well, it's a Toyota Tundra, and
This
we only
is-
have
this
that
is-
for 2 years.
See, this,
What you're talking about is the unfinished
Is that what
covers.
you-
Yeah,
Bad
the
issue.
unfinished
this
factor on the
in
steel frame.
That's
2004
not.
That's not building.
Yeah,
went
yeah.
That's not
from
representative.
60
Yeah.
to
So
85%,
it's
75
two-story
to
frame is-
85 in there.
Typically is not complete.
This house has a basement.
There's
Yeah.
nothing
Oh, yeah,
The
she
workshop
just-
has a
I'll post the
basement.
workshop,
Since-
you know,
Right.
like going-
Yeah.
2004, this,
I just want, I think your best bet is
and
just one.
and
The
there's
guys
nothing further
workshop
on,
is
so
gonna
I
be full
can't,
price
I just can't justify this.
When I tried to buy it,
That
would
is
supervise
for
where-
having.
Oh, you
He
can do
stores
that.
raw
Yeah.
They were
materials.
gonna
Yeah.
use, by commercial.
The guy came out and she was like, oh yeah, I did that for you, blah, 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 and he came back, nope, can't do it. It's like $3,000.
Yeah, we were
And
gonna,
that was in 2012, so I don't know what it would be now.
I'm glad we didn't start this at 8 o'clock.
yeah.
Okay. So what are our options? I take it we're through discussing. Can we all agree that we've spoken up?
I think so.
All right.
It will be up to you to decide whether they have proved their case and that they've been unjustly discriminated against, and then decide if it was fraudulent, dishonest, or illegal.
I am not ready to say that they have not proved their case because of this neighbor's evaluation. If I'm forced to have to do that, that's another thing altogether.
And I don't
That's
think,
one property,
and I don't
and
think
that one could be an error.
Yes, it could, but I don't know that it is or not.
and I don't think the Lovejoys are thinking there's any malicious
Right,
actions
no.
here. I think they're just trying to find out why theirs is assessed so high versus what we feel are comparables, that we went through and looked at the 3 comparables that are there that are attached to the presentation. I mean, I don't think, Kathy's been here, and I know she's done a great job for many years, and I think we never had to, and as you can see, you never get contesting, people contest it, or very few. But I think this one is a case where I think that it might have been, this one is, they're assessed very high compared to what they have there, or what's available, and what, comparable properties are selling for.
Everything should still be in order right there.
So did you want to postpone a decision until the properties can be reviewed, or did you want to make a decision now?
I personally am not ready to make a decision. I am in the direction of if there is so much comparison to this other property, then I would like to see the other property. I would like, I think,
But wouldn't
Compare-
that bring some ill will towards us as neighbors if we brought that on them?
They wouldn't know.
Making, they wouldn't know. Okay.
but that would be fair. That would be both sides. That would
I don't
be
believe we
just-
could go on that person's property without their permission.
We can, but the assessor can.
Not necessarily.
She can ask, but
There we go, that's it.
they may not let her in there.
Yeah.
They don't tell assessors a lot. They might tell their broker a lot,
Yeah.
but they don't tell their assessor a lot. And I'm not sure that they would let me on. Wouldn't be the first time I was.
Especially if they found out that
Oh, yeah.
valuation of their property might go up. So where are we?
Do you want to make a
They're low
decision, or
and
do you
we're
want to
high.
postpone until the
I'm
other
not
properties
ready.
are reviewed?
I'm not ready to make a decision.
Would you
I would like
to table it?
yes, but I don't know, table it, why?
Till when, yeah.
Well, we'll have to come up with another date.
For
what would we do then though? Like after Kathy tries to get into the doing sound?
I can't believe that she was fraudulent or
No,
dishonest.
and that's not.
I don't,
But
it's,
I do think there's a mistake somewhere.
I think that's a hard caveat that we have to prove that she was dishonest or fraudulent in that it was just wrong.
But that's what
just
it
high.
The state statutes
Yeah,
are both very vague, but they clearly favor the assessor.
clearly.
And our job as a review panel has to be in accordance with the statute.
Yep.
But the only thing I can see here is that there's likely a mistake in one place or another, and I think you both agree that that's...
I do. And I feel that if it's a mistake on theirs, it's for lack of information yeah. I don't think she did it intentionally or like that.
I'll tell you a little incident that popped into my head. Years ago, we added a garage to our property, and it was built with mostly neighborhood help for labor. And one of our neighbors came over after it was complete and stuck a Taj Mahal sign. I don't know if you remember this, Kathy.
I do.
And our valuation for that garage went through the roof. And I came down here and said, "What are you thinking?" And she says, "Well, the sign Taj Mahal was around here. You're coming back and go through this garage."
Yeah.
So quirky things can happen. And
And I don't hesitate, if I make a mistake, I don't
No,
hesitate
you
to write
don't.
an abatement or correct it.
you didn't certainly in that case, but,
All right,
so
I
I
think it's
would,
over.
I would
I'd like to table this to
make
give
that motion that we
her a
table
chance
it.
to visit this site again. And it's up to you guys if you want to let her in or not. That's up to you. And I would like to have her take a walk by, a drive by or something, whatever, to look at the other property.
I will try to get in
The
the other property.
So I guess my question would be, where do we go from here? She can't get into Ed's, but she's gotten into ours.
I honestly think she's not going to hold this against you in any way. And if she goes through inch by inch in the, in the finished and unfinished areas and sees the quality or lack of quality in certain areas, she's going to be honest. And she's not going to say that, I've heard Kathy on more than one occasion say, "I was wrong and I'll fix it."
I have already, and I don't mean to be so difficult, but I have tried to have the calm, collected conversation you're talking about when your garage was valued high, and it was so abrasive. I had to call Gary Bowman about it because and it's making me emotional thinking about it now. I'm very uncomfortable with this being into her hands. And if this was there is clearly a discrepancy here, and we've been rejected over and over and over again. I feel like the time for Kathy to right her mistake that calm conversation and her doing the right thing has already gone by. And I know she's probably a lovely person, and I know you guys all really enjoy her, but in the way that I'm uncomfortable, I guess is what I would say. And I would love to have that character reference be changed over the years, but right now I'm very uncomfortable with her being in charge of making this right.
And based on.
I'm sorry, but it is my job.
That's what I would like to say. It is her job. And if there is somebody that can make it right, it is her.
It would be me.
So how do
For
I...
1 year. That's all I can do is 1 year.
Right. How do I protect myself again? You can understand where
I
I'm coming
do.
from. I know it's her
do.
job and she's the only one, and you can't say, "Sorry, Kathy, bye," and here's someone else for me. But
No,
I'm
Kathy,
uncomfortable.
it's not a matter of 1 year if there's, you discover there's a flaw in the
Then they go to
assessed
the town
value.
council.
No,
Well, no, you could
you
reduce
just,
it right at that point.
you
could-
adjust the value downward, the taxes will follow. I mean, if you feel it's overvalued,
For prior, next year's,
yes.
for any previous years, no.
No,
Future
and that's not what they're
Future
asking for.
years.
No, yeah,
Right.
we don't want any money back.
They don't want any money back. They're just looking for, from here forward, to be
Valued,
valued
fair.
fairly with,
yeah.
with the other people. They're not asking for,
No, we don't
no.
need money back.
we just want to
You're
be here,
hearing it all
from here
here.
forward, that
Yeah.
that is treated for, you know.
Yeah.
And based on my prior experience with the abatement, which went fine, it was very pleasant, but I don't think that, I still, again, didn't think that the $130,000 valuation that I got after paying 66, I understand that price was probably low, but still the $60,000 difference in there from what it was, I thought that was, room to work into. So I really don't know, I don't expect her to, admit she was wrong in this.
Not to go down to 60,000, no.
No, I wouldn't have expected that or
Sure.
anything, but
Sure, but
what it could
market
sell for
value is
at the time.
in consideration, and it just hasn't been considered in ours at any point in our record, so.
So which valuation are you looking, or would you be comfortable with? Which one do you think should
2
be?
years
worth
back,
it?
140.
140?
Yeah,
you feel
whatever
is the
that
one
was,
should
is
be?
100.
We would
Change.
settle for that. I still
I don't-
professionally believe it's high, but we would settle for
But-
that in order to just not have to talk about this.
But that'll
anymore.
be the caveat, we don't think we could ever get it. I'm comfortable paying that though. I'm not comfortable paying, whatever, it's $40,000 more than it's worth.
The hu-
There's nothing on the property card that indicates it took a jump in the year that it took the jump. So I'm a little baffled myself. And I do think it needs to be revisited.
I can revisit, I honestly, I do have an open mind. We both got a little hot under the collar when you were here. I will admit that, and it's not in my nature to do that, but yeah, we both were a little.
Okay, if that's where we need, this is where we're gonna go, then we can just have a
Wait and see.
revisit, yeah, and then,
And I
yeah,
can take care of 1 year.
okay.
Anything more, you'd have to go to the council. Valuation is what I do.
1 year behind. Or are you
But
talking
she's,
about?
The current year.
they're
Yeah.
not talking about an abatement, they're talking about
Just
a
reassessing.
Valuation.
reassessing the value.
In order to do an abatement, I have to reduce the value. So,
We don't want
But if you find errors
then
in
I
your
would correct it.
calculation, and that's what I think.
And
Yeah,
that's,
just change it
and
for
then
next
look
year.
at,
Yeah, we just need it for next year. We're not looking backwards, we're looking forwards.
Well,
Yeah,
I have to
It's
deal
gonna-
with this year.
oh, you do, oh,
I
okay. It
think
has to
it's-
either way, is that what
Correct.
you're
It's gonna
saying?
end up
I have to deal
happening.
with this year. I can't deal with next year.
Okay, gotcha.
If it's found that there was an oversight in the errors or in the valuation, yes, you probably get a credit or something for this year's taxes if you've already paid them,
Or you get a check.
or you get a check. But in the meantime, she needs to be able to explain where the oversight was to be able to lower that
Right.
evaluation.
So let's revisit it, and then we can,
I
Okay,
Right.
can
then we
we
can,
table this until she revisits it and then make a decision?
Yes.
Or do you want to make a decision that instructs me to get out and inspect your
And revisit.
property?
So that we don't have to meet up again.
If they instruct me to do it,
That will be, if
I'm assuming
she's the
I'm going
concluding
to
factor
do it.
here.
Because if you said, okay, let's just give an abatement of blah, 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 I would have to do that. So I'm thinking that if you tell me to do something, that's what I'm obligated to do. I may be wrong, but then that's what I would do. Unless you want to meet again.
I
Okay,
think
so,
we have to meet it to finish our decision,
okay, well,
right?
okay, so say you go out and you come back and you've done your stuff, and say you do issue an abatement, do we formally have to meet again? Or can we just send a copy of the abatement as proof that the valuation has changed?
But if they're unhappy,
Right, then we would have to come back, yeah.
yeah, so,
Okay.
Is,
Right,
Does
so
that
let's wait and
sound-
see where it
I-
goes.
Sorry, I didn't catch it. So she's gonna come back out and we're gonna meet again either way?
no,
If-
no,
oh,
not,
Only if we're
no,
not happy with the
oh,
result.
oh,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Sure, oh, okay, yeah.
let's try to formulate a motion
okay.
that fits that scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, my shoulders. are
Yeah.
burning.
My legs were
We
cramping
need
up, I had
comfier
to walk
chairs for
around.
this kind of a conversation.
Mhm.
So if we vote to direct the Oakland assessor to revisit both,
you would have to both agree.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Well, I think he has to agree.
Yeah.
yes,
I think technically it's just him that has to
Oh.
agree. Yeah. I don't think I'm on the deep end.
You're just a troublemaker.
Yeah, I'm just a troublemaker.
Yep, 28 Smithfield Road.
is it 28?
Oh, no, I'm
No.
sorry, 184.
184.
It's ours,
184.
Yeah.
And
382.
382 Smithfield Road.
$382 or $380?
382.
Two.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, 382.
And if the results of that reassessment is satisfactory to the Lovejoys,
Then we do not have to convene.
then we will be notified that this matter